What's up guys, Duke here from Sportsgamerz.com. In this video I want to show you the best stretch in Madden 20. Now guys, if you want to get some great Madden 20 tips, be sure to subscribe to our channel and make sure to turn your notifications on so you do not miss any videos. Alright, so we're going to be looking at the single back wing tight U. Very under the radar formation. It's in a few playbooks. Obviously it's in the Raiders, which is probably the most popular playbook in the game still. But also the Redskins. If you know, those are the main ones I like. You could use either or. Redskins has a lot of other formations you can audible to. That's a really tough scheme. And guys, if you want the best running scheme in Madden 20 that can beat all of the meta run defenses and really everything people use, that you can easily run the ball and also mix and passes, be sure to check out our wing offensive guide on sportsgamers.com. I'll give you a link in the description to check it out. But I want to show you how this run, why it's the best stretch in Madden 20 bar none, because it really just kills all the meta stuff people like to use. So it's the wing tight U HV stretch. This is the run that I pretty much won the game against Clef in the club championship with. This was the run that he just could not stop because there's really not a good answer to it. You know, most people that defend the run, you know, you're going to be looking at, you know, defenses out of 3-4 odds specifically. You know, we'll just go over all the ones step by step. But, you know, edge blitz, probably one of the more common ones you're going to face. So, you know, if edge blitz, people like to do this right here to where, you know, they're blitzing two inside guys on contains, and then they have the other linebackers in coverage, and they just control the safety. Now, the reason why this stretch is so good, and you'll see this a lot in this video, is because of a few things. First of all, this is a balanced formation that you can run the stretch either way. It can be playmaker either way without the defense even knowing you did it. So, like, and the blocking is just good either way. On the right, we have two tight ends, and then on the left, we have a tight end and a receiver. So on the guide, I'm going to show you a lot of advanced motions you could use to mess up man defenses like this or Stone Brave. But you don't even need to do that. Really, all you need to do is just run away from the safety in the box, because the safety in the box is what makes a lot of these man run defenses really effective. So if I see the safety in the box on the right, I just playmaker to the left. And as y'all can see, there's a gaping hole. I don't even need to use Barkley's ability. It's just, you know, it's a crib shot. You know, worst case scenario, you're going to be one-on-one with the user. And at that point, you're already getting about 10 yards. Now, another way people run this defense is they'll actually just leave everybody blitzing. And, you know, that's another way you might see it ran. So, again, you know, same thing. I'm just going to playmaker to the left away from the safety in the box. And, again, you can see, you know, it's a gaping hole. Now, that guy did shed at the last second. I only got basically probably 2 yards. But if we do the same exact thing again, I can promise you, you will see that that is very rare. Now, one thing I'll say is if you're running this offense, I definitely do pay attention to see what I'm saying, this wide open gap. I definitely, and another crib shot, I definitely pay attention to my tight ends' run block and strength, because they are important guys on the edge. You want them to make sure they hold their block so they don't get shedded, because that can be the difference in like a 2-yard run and a touchdown. Now, obviously, there's going to be times where you do get shedded, but I've noticed that if your tight ends are solid in strength and also impact block too and run block, you will notice a noticeable difference in how they block for you. Like, it's not even really close, to be honest with you. It's a huge difference. Other thing is your receiver on the edge there. He's an important blocker too. He doesn't need to be amazing, but, you know, he at least needs to be decent enough, and you'll see that against some other defenses. Not really the man-Ds, though, but some other ones. If you just don't happen to have that great of personnel for run blocking, you can always sub in linemen at tight end and then also tight ends at receiver. Obviously, this will kind of not be as great of a passing threat, but the run blocking will be worth it. But it is best if you could have tight ends that can block and catch and receivers that can block and catch too, because as you'll see in the guide, you know, I do show you a lot of passing setups. So that's edge blitz. Now, a lot of people will take that same concept I just showed you, blitzing the two inside linebackers on contains and, you know, coveraging out the other ones, and they'll apply it to other defenses like cover 4 is another one you'll see a lot. So I'll show you all how this would work. Alright, so they like, you know, people like cover 4 because the safeties react to the run pretty good. And then, you know, they'll try to, like, take one of the guys manually and just come in the box. Now, basically, if I see this, I just basically will run to the same side of the safety that they're using. You know, basically, people tend to try to take the safety they think is on the weak side of the field to then go help on the strong side. And that essentially gives them an extra run defender to take advantage of. But this is why I love this stretch, is because there's really no weak side. So regardless of what safety I see your user, I'm just going to run to the same side you're using, so then you don't get an advantage with extra blockers. So for instance, here I see you're on the right safety. I'm just going to run to the right. And as y'all can see, I got some good blocking on the edge there. Basically it was a one-on-one. And, I honestly, that's just me. I need to be able to make that guy miss. Again, same defense again. Again, y'all can see it. Again, really bad run stick by me. I have plenty of lanes. I just, again, bad run stick. We're going to do it one more time. Again, y'all can see, like, my run stick is not the greatest, but, yeah, there we go. So, as y'all can see, once again, really good hole, and this time I do get about 10 plus yards. So, the holes are there pretty much every time. It's just on you. So, I'm going to show it to you this way one more time, and then I'll show you if they use the other safety, what you would want to do. So again, you can see a little bit better stick by me there. Still not the greatest. Probably could have had a touchdown there if I had some of the run stick that a lot of these, younger kids have these days. Man, I can't lie. I'm getting old, and my stick is not as good as it used to be. But yeah, still just big lane. So here, you're on the left safety. Again, I'm just running to the side so you don't gain an extra advantage. I'm going to run to the left. And again, you can see here, get about 8-9 yards before, having to bring the ability out. Now, like I said, you don't even really need ability here because you can see, like, the lanes are so big, like, it's not even necessary. But having an ability, it definitely does help. So, again, you see them on the left safety, just run to the left because you can know that, like, that way they won't gain an advantage and get about 7-8 yards. Not really even making anybody miss, just open lanes. So, that's one defense people like to use. Another one is Storm Brave. So, Storm Brave, what people typically do is, some people want to flip, some people don't. But really, what people do is they see that this creeping linebacker, right, and it comes up in the box, and then what they'll try to do is move the guy that outside linebacker opposite the creeping linebacker to the outside. Now, what happens here is, essentially on most of these stretches, this creeping guy will shoot through on the side that he comes up. You can see how this linebacker is moved up. That's what I call a creeping linebacker. How he just automatically lines up a bit closer. And then by moving this guy to the outside and having the safety in the box opposite it, they feel like it's hard to run on that side. Now what I see when I run this is I run actually to the side of the creeping linebacker opposite the safety. Some people flip it, some don't. So you just want to look where the creeping guy is and where the safety is and run to the side of the creeping linebacker away from the safety. Now I also just like to quick snap this because it does take some manual movement and then trying to get back on the safety just like that. Because if you're able to quick snap them when they're still moving their people around until trying to get back on that safety, you'll have huge holes. Just like that. Now I'm going to turn auto flip off just in a second after you see the replay to see what I'm talking about. See how easy this is when you're running away from the safety. They essentially, all those guys take themselves out of the play. And it's again, basically like the user, it's one-on-one with you and the user, essentially. And this is actually the exact same defense Clef tried to use against me, and I just basically destroyed him with this run all game long. And honestly, he had a really, really good user. But if his user wasn't as good, he probably has one of the best users in the nation. Like, he's a really good player. But if his user wasn't as good as it was, I probably would have had like 500 yards rushing. Like, really had no shot. But here again, this time I'm going to run it the other way. Storm Brave the other way. So again, you can see this time it's over here. So again, I'm just going to, when I see this, I'm just going to quick snap him and run it to the right. As y'all can see, I'm out. I'm just running it away from the safety, quick snapping it every time. Super, super easy. And like I said, some people run that defense flip, some people won't, so you kind of have to be aware of both. Now, the last defense you kind of got to worry about is that kind of cover 2 type defense where people pinch everybody and try to like come up at the gap with their linebacker and shoot through. This is the best stretch in the game to beat that defense. Because, again, that defense you almost have to be like in a certain area of the field to shoot through. Like, you have to be on the same, basically you have to be on, like, the user has to, like, be on, as you can see here, the same side as basically the user that's trying to shoot through has to be going to the same side that you're running the ball to. So here, I clearly see, and you have to show where you're using because you have to come up the gap. I clearly see you're trying to do that on the left, right, I'm sorry, on the right, so I just run to the left. I just playmaker. Because, again, they'll never know. Because, again, obviously, as y'all can see, this stretch is able to run to either side with good effectiveness. So they'll never really know which side you're trying to go to. So that's the easiest way to do that. Then if they get on this guy, obviously, like, same thing. Like, I'm just going to run to the right this time. But now, the other thing I will say people do from time to time is they'll just try to run cover 2 almost as is and get on a safety and just hope that they get sheds. Because a lot of times these corners and flats and soft spots, whatever, they shoot in the backfield. Well, this stretch that does not happen. These guys actually block really well, and you can I'll basically tell you how you want to run it the best way against cover 2. So, like, when you run it to the receiver side, it's best to run it to the short side if you have a good blocker, because generally that guy will not shed. If you try to run it to the wide side of the field, if the receiver's on the wide side and try to run it to the receiver side, sometimes he does shed. But if the receiver's on the short side, normally that corner in the flat will not shed, as you all can see there. So now I'm one-on-one, finally, take advantage of my ability to make a guy miss, and it's a touchdown. Now, you actually can pick up that corner on the other side if that's where you want to run. Say, like, they're using this guy and they're bringing themselves over, so you actually want to run the other way. And by the way, this works against softs, clouds, hard flats, whatever. All you have to do to pick that corner up is just motion this guy out like 2 to 3 steps, snap the ball, and you should pick him up just like that. Or, you probably couldn't see it because I cut up to the inside because the hole was so big. But if it wasn't and I needed to go more to the outside, you'll actually see on the replay here that this guy got picked up just by this motion. See, I could have easily ran it up in here if I wanted to, because instead of shooting in the backfield, my motion allowed this guy to get picked up. So, like, you can see how good this stretch really is. And we've not even really, we've basically covered all the popular things people like to do against the run. And we have yet to even get into some of the advanced motions and flips I can do to mess up the man defenses even more, which we will show in the guide. We will show other running formations in the guide, other runs other than stretches in the guide, and we'll even show you passing setups in the guide as well to kill these defenses. Literally, with this guide, you will know just by looking at the defense and what they're doing, what play to run, and you'll beat them before you even snap the ball. It is by far the easiest offense to run in this game, the most unique, and, in my opinion, dominating, because you can literally know what to do just by looking at the defense and have already won before the play even starts. You don't really even need any abilities. You could see this whole video, I maybe made 1 or 2 guys miss. It was just really just good running in general. But, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more tips like this. And if you want to check out the guide, I'll drop the link for y'all in the description. If not, y'all can just stay tuned for more free tips. Until next time, I'm out of here.